Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of my Compose Along With Me series. Today I'm going to be writing an etude for some of my students that just practices looking around and finding the notes. I want to put as many jumps in this as possible, so I titled this one Jumping Around. Just something lighthearted and fun. I put it in the key of F major, because most of the notes will be within the staff if I play it this way. I'm going to maybe try and make it so that the melody stays within a 5-finger pattern, so that'd be the notes F, G, A, B flat, and C. It might jump outside of there. We'll have to see how it goes. And I think for the bass hand, I'm only going to use 1, 4, and 5 chords. So F, maybe for 2 measures, B flat, and C, and then F again, B flat, C, F. And then we'll kind of just repeat those chords again. So I'll take all these, copy and paste. And then I get to write a little melody. So if let's say I start, oh gosh, not that. If I start these notes all together, so then maybe some eighth notes. I'm staying within my F major chord here. So let's just hear what this sounds like. Just something lighthearted and fun. And then let's hear what that all sounds like. It's a pretty good start. There's nothing wrong with that. I kind of don't like this repeated A. Really what I should probably do is maybe do this so I get a repeated note in between each of the measures. Let's try that. I kind of like how that sounds. Alright, so then we're going to do something that's very, very similar for the next measure, but my chords are different. So let's start at the top and work our way down instead. F, G, A. So I end on the third here so that this line doesn't feel completely finished, because I basically am going to repeat the same line again down below, but then end on the root. In fact, I will probably take these notes right here and copy them at the very end so I know where that's going to end. Then I'm going to take this whole line, copy it, and paste it to here so that we get the same thing. And now I just basically need to write 2 new measures of music here. And it can be really, really similar. So F, A, and then B, G, G, F, G. I think that's actually, in fact, the same notes. It is. That should be fine. Let's take a listen all the way through and see what it sounds like. I think that just the A by itself at the end there is a little bit too open, and I want to make sure the song still feels like it's moving forward. So what if I actually even did something like this and put a nice run at the end to shoot us back into the next phrase. Let's see how that sounds. Love that. It's very, very nice. It keeps up the energy of the piece and really makes you know that this is not the end. As I was listening to this, I realized that for a beginning piano student, I probably don't want to change octaves between these B flats and Cs. So I'm going to make sure that they match the same octave across the whole piece. There we go. All right, let's take a listen to this now. repeat. And ta-da! Just like that, in about 5 minutes, we have an etude for students to practice. Now, like I mentioned at the beginning, I wanted a piece of music that my students could practice reading notes in between. So I often teach them that we look at Face in the Space and Empty Garbage Before Dad Flips for the lines of the treble clef. So this piece will require them to read all of these individual notes, and there's a lot of times that the notes are jumping pretty far distances. So they can't just rely on using the alphabet to know that, A is right next to B for something like this. They'll have to go, okay, F is here. How do I get all the way up to here? Furthermore, because we're in the key of F, they're going to have to remember the B flat. That's always tricky for new students to remember accidentals like this, especially in the key signature. But it's nothing too crazy. Rhythmically, very, very similar across the whole board, right? You want to keep it so that it's rhythmically pretty consistent, so that that's not a struggle point. But there are eighth notes, there's quarter notes, there's half notes, and a whole note, which are sort of the 4 fundamental rhythms that we'd start with. And if a student wanted to make this harder, they could turn all of these into chords. I could talk about chords with students. I could talk about changing the octaves with these, all kinds of things that would allow this to really bloom outward. So hopefully this is a useful tool for you to see how you can write quick etudes, and maybe even try writing one of these for yourself, either as a composer, or if you're learning to practice an instrument, try writing simple etudes like this to see how your instrument functions and all the knowledge that you have on your instrument. That's it for this one. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.